So another thing that is important in astrology is the so-called aspects. But me personally, I don't put so much emphasis on aspects as many other astrologers. That might be false, that might be better, I don't know. But I've experienced that when you make deep analysis with meaningful sentences, being knowledgeable about the keywords of the archetypes, being able to discriminate the levels, to say the house is the room in which it happens, the house is the stage where it happens. So it is the childhood, the fourth house. It is my emotional inner self. It's my inner child. Then you will not do flaky statements or do the mistake as many others. They do grass-hopping analysis. They say, oh, your Mars is there, and and that, but they don't say anything. You know, it's just a show-off of like some terminology that the client does not understand. But yes, aspects are important, but they are not the most important as many astrologers seem to believe. And basically, aspects, there's always an eternal discussion about among astrologers, because, you know, a 90-degree angle, which is like this, a 90-degree angle is, of course, exact when it's 90 degree. But is it still a 90-degree angle when it's like 3 degrees off, like 87 or 93? And especially in Germany, they have endless discussions. But everything flows. You know, winter does not come with a day and spring does not either. So for me, it is more important that we understand the kind of like core energy of certain aspects, and you decide how you work with them or not. If you want to get deeper into the aspects, I would highly, highly recommend that you get into another teaching behind aspects, which are the phases. They're based on the Chaldaic knowledge from like ancient times of the 28 moon phases, which were then broken down into 8 main or primary phases, which were described first by Dan Rudyard, a great astrologer, wonderful guy. I mean, brilliant. There's no other word than brilliant. By the way, he was only able to write his books when he was on a train, because he had Mercury, which is god of writing, in Sagittarius, which is traveling. So he booked like a train from like the East Coast to the West Coast and back. You also find those phases described in the books of Jeffrey Green, and you also find them in my book. And but I've decided to not do it here in the video class, because experience has shown that almost no astrology student applies them, even though they have a depth within it. But the main aspects is basically very simple. If 2 planets are together, we call that conjunction. The astrological symbol you see here in the background. Conjunction is Mrs. Venus is sitting on the lap of Mr. Saturn. So that is called a conjunction, Venus-Saturn conjunction. Yeah? So 2 planetary rulers of 2 signs, or Venus having 2 signs as a rule, so are now combined. Venus and Saturn, we need to combine these 2 index cards, and that usually happens also somewhere in a house and in a sign, right? So we need that. But we start always with house. What's the sign level? We get to that, the steps that I've explained. Then you don't get like over analytically confused about, oh, what is more important? You know, all the astrologers say, oh, you have a Venus-Saturn conjunction, you have a Venus-Saturn conjunction. Well, you have a Venus-Saturn conjunction, so what? You know, yeah. You can even, like, if you get confused by aspects, especially by conjunctions, you can help yourself as a beginner. If you really go like, oh, what does it mean? Like Venus, Saturn, what does it mean? Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So just use your index card. This is just, you know, use your index card and take one for the Venus, which is Taurus and also Libra, and take the other one just of Capricorn instead of Saturn. Same energy. Put them together, make meaningful sentences, and you're able to describe the what it means.